Good morning, and thank you for joining Dana's Daily Doodles on this Sunday morning. It is November 2nd, and I hope and pray you're having a good day. Life is not easy, and we all know that. Easier for some, less easy for others. And when we look at the big picture, it is quite sad for many people. But I want to be positive and just say, when we see these situations arise, like in the pandemic and in this time right now of the government shutdown, many people out of work, many people having to work with no paycheck, out of work with no paycheck. There's SNAP EBT. They have no benefits, which means no food readily available that help. And they probably have money put aside, but that would be for their rent or their mortgage or gas in their car to get the kids back and forth to school. Any type of necessity where your phone has to be paid, and got to keep the lights on. So when I think a lot about that, just like you probably process your own personal responsibilities in life, we also need to share the responsibility as a human being to help others. It is a community. It is a life on earth, life as a human being, and a responsibility that we should all take to check in on neighbors who are elderly or less fortunate or have children. She might have ran out of peanut butter, or there's a lot of neighborhoods that just had a total blast with over amounts of candy, which was awesome for the kids. They were able to collect big candy bars and and look at the fun in life and not bear the burden of no food in the cupboard or their parents depressed. We don't know what kids go through. I imagine they go through a lot. I can only imagine. And we see lots of different movies, and we see lots of different things when we go, situations when we just go shopping. I went to Walmart, and that was before the shutdown occurred of the EBT, which really, it was about 5 days prior. So maybe around October 25th, and things looked okay. People were shopping, and it is a nicer area. So that might not have brought in the lower income, and low income is a fact. I'm considered low income. I live on my Social Security benefits, and I also know how to make a dime become a dollar because I stretch it, and stretch it to where there's no more stretching. So maybe they've gotten to the point there's no more stretching. They didn't see this coming. They were still cooking all their food. If someone had been given a little bit of advance notice, perhaps they would have put away some more beans, baked beans, red beans, black beans. So what I did this morning is I went through my entire cabinet, that would be again, and I organized everything, and I said, okay, here's all the soup, here's all my beans, here's all my miscellaneous, and here's my canned veggies. So all of this is getting eaten, okay? I'm not going to just keep going to the store and putting more and more and more into my cabinet. I'm eating my way more so through the cabinets in November and through my freezer. So I'm using what I have, sharing what I can. That's the way I'm looking at it. If I can pay something forward, if I can make someone a meal, if I have an extra potato that I've already thrown in, which I always do that. Don't you always do that? You're going to make hard-boiled eggs. You make 2 to 4 extra. That way you have your own. Extra hard-boiled eggs for a snack. Well, think of it as maybe extra for someone else. Do you have elderly people that live close to you? Is there a way you can reach out? So if you have it in your heart, and I'm just trying to explain how to pay it forward, it can be one thing a week. Can you share a potato with butter on it, warmed up for your neighbor, with a little bit of your protein you made, maybe a little bit of your beans that you made? I bet you could, and you would totally make their day. Today is November 2nd. What are we looking at when it's November 24th, the week before Thanksgiving? Putting Thanksgiving to the side. Shouldn't every month be Thanksgiving? Thankful giving. I'm thankful for everything I have. We have to take care of ourselves first. That's a fact, right? And then we're giving. It's called Thanksgiving, coming together, breaking bread, being at the table. Everyone is fed. It shouldn't be every year. It should be every day. These thoughts could come through our minds, and then we just don't take it and run with it. Let me drink a little coffee. Okay, so there's a little bit on that. Everyone has their own personal opinion, of course, so I'm not putting myself upon you. I'm just giving you some thoughts, something to ponder, and something that you might feel inside of yourself. Yeah, I can do that. When you look at it simply, it's not solving the problem, it's helping the problem. It's just, we can't solve this. We can't have our day brought down because of it. But when you look at the big picture, peanut butter jelly and Wonder Bread go far. If that would be $10 from the Dollar General or Walmart or wherever you shop. It could be a little bit more. But, bananas, those last for 4 to 5 days. And you also just have, beans, refried beans go in tortillas super easily. It's a protein. So these types of things, well, is just what we need to think about, how to stretch and how to share. So in my book, again, I'll just give you a little bit of a reading, and these are verses from the Bible that Joyce Meyer has, and it's helpful. It says, "Someone do it for me. I don't want to take the responsibility." It's kind of like the Bible teaching us the responsibility of what we have as a person and what we can do as a person. In chapter 17, under Genesis 11:31, it reads, "And Terah took Abram his son, Lot the son of Haran, his grandson, and Sarai, his daughter-in-law, his son Abram's wife, and they went forth together to go from Ur of the Chaldees into the land of Canaan. But when they came to Haran, they settled there." Responsibility is often defined as our response to God's ability. To be responsible is to respond to the opportunities that God has placed in front of us. Opportunities and also responsibility. God gave Abram's father a responsibility, a chance to respond to his ability. So when you look at that, a responsibility is to our ability. If you have someone who is less fortunate, you don't expect as much from that person. That would be obvious, because you can't expect someone to do more than they can actually do. And when we look at another person and we start to condemn their situation and look at them like, well, they can work, you have to look at the big picture. I imagine they could work, but they also, if they have children need a mother or father in the home. They need someone to drop them off at school. They need someone to feed them and care for them and watch over them. They need someone to be there for their homework time. There's a huge picture to look at. Why people are not working. Yes, they had too many children, perhaps. Not my business. The fact is, these people are human beings and they have children who are precious children. That's just the way it is. It's already a done deal. So let's look at giving to the problem and making it a blessing. Maybe we are given this time because we need to take a long, hard look at how we run our household. They need to take a look at how they run their household. This is a shock. This is something where someone's going to say, now I'm in fear this could happen again. Maybe that's the way it needs to be, but not this hard, not this suddenly, not right at holiday time. No matter how you look at it, it is holiday time, right? They're not going to hear a broken record. Oh, this should be every month and we should help everyone. Let's look at right now and today and what's real. Yes, a lot of people are on EBT SNAP food stamps, food help. and help and assistance. But you know what? We don't know the real story. And tell you the truth, it's not really our business. When you have a less fortunate person, which I do, I have my brother who's disabled, sometimes they don't even think straight. Maybe we think our thoughts and we know how to shop properly. Well, he's pretty much blind and doesn't drive. Now, he needs help from someone. I was his caregiver for 8 years. I'm not now. But I assist and watch over everything. I make sure his cabinets have food. If he had absolutely no money, then I would be providing peanut butter, jelly, and bread, even if I made his sandwiches. You know why? He's on a state IHSS program, in-home health services, IHHS, in that county. And so with that being said, what if they pulled that? Well, no one there getting paid, they're not going to go and help him. So that would require me again. Then I have a responsibility that I guess God has given me, and I do not know why. Well, I do know one thing. My mother passed away suddenly, and my father passed away. And that's it. Family, gone. Here it is. And he's not easy. So we'll end it at that. It's not good, but I guess it's my responsibility. So I take part of that and I just throw away my stinking thinking. And then I put my big girl pants on. I got to do what I got to do. It could be pretty simple too. It could just be putting half of my chicken enchiladas I'm making tonight on his doorstep tomorrow in a container that was 50 cents to $1. It's not going to hurt me to do that. In this it reads, but instead of going all the way with the Lord, he chose to stop and settle in Haran. As it says, they stopped and settled in Haran. It is fairly easy to be excited when God first speaks to us, right? And gives us an opportunity to do something. So this is true. And then it kind of fizzles out, So many times we never finish what we start because we get into it and realize, woo, there's a lot more involved than goosebumps and excitement. That's part of life. There's always more to every story. We get charged up. We've got November. Hey, it's Thanksgiving. It's Christmas. Then what? Then what happens? January, February, March, April. Is everyone forgotten? It's not just holiday that we should come together. Helping others is constant. It's holding the door open at the stores. It's paying forward 50 cents or $1 if you had it. Believe me, it comes back tenfold. It always does. It always will. I know that a lot of people probably don't think that, but somehow, if you look at the big picture, write down everything you're thankful for and all the blessings that you have. This could even be the blanket that is sitting upon you right now. Your slippers. Can you go to the thrift store and buy something and wash it and love it? If you're at that point of your life where you have to accept a little bit of help, the joy should be the person giving it. The person giving something to another person should have the joy and the heart that it's unexplainable when you help someone, how wonderful you can feel. And you do feel. Most new ventures are exciting simply because they're new. The excitement will carry a person along for a while, but it will not take him across the finish line. Excitement is the beginning of everything. One time in a Bible study, I learned that happiness is a situation. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. But joy is within your heart. Joy is what you carry with yourself. That's the real deal. The joy that you feel. Happiness comes in spurts. We can't always be happy. So with that being said, and looking at everything, I just wanted to give you a little bit and say Exodus 32, 1 through 14. In my reading and study, I noticed that the Israelites did not want to take responsibility for anything. Moses did their praying. He sought God for them. He even did their repenting when they got themselves in trouble. A baby has no responsibility at all. But as the child grows up, he is expected to take more and more responsibility. One of the main roles of a parent is to teach their children to accept responsibility. God desires to teach his children the same thing. That's pretty perfectly said. I think so. I think that there's a lot of ways to think of many things that happen and turn them into good. Take the bad and try and turn it into good. This is not a good time for many people. It's a very difficult time for many people. But it doesn't mean that we can't find the joy in our life and help others. We can find joy. We can find thankfulness, thanksgiving. So I hope this touches your heart. And I also hope that you're in a situation where someone's touching your heart. And with that being said, on Tuesday, let's see, today's the 2nd. So the 4th, I will be at our community food bank. And I'm excited to volunteer and help out. And I will be videoing short parts of that. So stay tuned. And you'll see the cars that will be lined up coming in as I went to one last week. And the second part to that is I'm making chicken cheese enchiladas to stretch my chicken. It was a rotisserie chicken on sale for $5, so I didn't even have to turn my oven on. I took it all apart, shredded all the chicken, threw away all the yucky stuff I don't need. And then I will take that chicken and turn it into a dinner that will last 2 to 3 days. So that's just the work that goes into it when you're trying to stretch that dime into a dollar. That's one of the ways. So have a great day, and thank you for joining me. Have a great Sunday, and Dana's Daily Doodles. Bye-bye.